Now, I remember in the 2010s when some people, especially some teens, jumped on the creepypasta bandwagon. Back then, you had some people writing and posting their own Slenderman copy, or rather, creepypasta, as well as their own Ben Drowned pasta, and any other games that have a creepy exploit to it. Like Pokemon Slendertown Syndrome. And that's not all. Whenever you saw a famous YouTuber reading a creepypasta or playing their video game adaptation to it, some people wanted to have a piece of that fame and recognition. That's also a reason why a lot of creepypastas got pumped out very quickly, and crudely. But what if I told you that there was a previous generation before the 2010s? Or rather, a person. But before we get to that, a little bit of a backstory of how I discovered this person. Around the late 2000s and early 2010s or so, I remember being a huge fan of RB and the Chief, and I remember watching Digital Fear's RB and the Chief Machinima series, and back then he used Family Guy's theme to Road to Europe. And old content creators from the 2000s using copyrighted music wasn't anything out of the ordinary back then. Not back then it wasn't. And Digital Fear produced a movie based on RB and the Chief, which, if memory serves me well, was an entry he submitted for some film convention or something like that. And that RB and the Chief movie, Digital Fear, would also upload that for the Machinima channel. R.I.P. Machinima. And in a scene in his movie, spoilers by the way, Chief made a movie for his quote-unquote friends. And around the last part of Chief's movie, Chief's character is on the ground and says to an orange player, "I have to get up, I must fight the aliens." And the orange player then says, "No, Jan, you are the alien." And then Chief finished the movie with, "And then Jan was the alien. The end? Question mark." And then Travis says, "What the f***?" To this day, I consider RB and the Chief, its movie, and Chief's movie as one of the greatest things to grace this earth since underwear. No, really. I also watched Digital Fear's director's commentary of said movie, and in that segment of Chief's 3-hour-long movie, Jesus, Digital Fear revealed that the ending came from a Doom fanfic called Doom, Repercussions of Evil, and I remember thinking, what? What is that? But before I get to that fanfic, I'd like to give a bit of a backstory of Doom, for those who do not know. If you already know the history of Doom, you can skip to said timestamp in the description box below. Doom, the name of the game Doom, borrows its name from the 1986 movie The Color of Money. When a character asks Tom Cruise's portrayed character what's inside that case, Tom Cruise's character replies with Doom and gives him a smile. And that's where Doom, the video game Doom, takes its name from. Now, when it comes to the video game scene of the 1980s and 1990s, if you wanted your games to have a worldwide reach and success, then you had to develop your game for either Sega or Nintendo so that they could put it on their systems, like the NES, SNES, or the Sega Genesis, or I probably should say Sega Mega Drive since I'm technically a European, but cough cough. Anyways, the original Doom game was developed by id Software and released on Microsoft's DOS computers on December 10th, 1993, and Doom, the game Doom, did the unthinkable. It sold around the world in the millions, and it was a PC game that did something that not that many PC games achieved back then. It achieved worldwide success, and since then, everyone, even your grandmother, knows what Doom is. Doom sold 3.5 million copies by 1999. Now, 3.5 million copies doesn't sound much by today's standards, but back then, from 1993 to 1999, for a small team in the 1990s, that was quite a success. And it is said that somewhere around 20 million people back then played Doom. And to this day, Doom has been ported to a lot of machines and potatoes. Yes, Doom did it before Bethesda's Skyrim. After Doom's success came the nearly identical sequel, Doom 2, on October 10th, 1994, and then came the re-releases like Ultimate Doom, Final Doom, and the technical re-release exclusive Nintendo 64 game called Doom 64, which released on April 4th, 1997, and etc, etc, etc. And then after that, well, id Software developed and published Quake in 1996, and the sequels that followed up until 1999. And then what? Well, not much. It is the late 1990s / early 2000s, and the world has evolved since the Doom era of the early to late 1990s, and there has been no sign or news of any new Doom game, movies, comic books, or merchandise in sight, unfortunately. id Software developed the Quake games, but no Doom games for a while. And between that time frame from 1997 to 2004, id Software didn't release that much Doom content for a while. Or nothing at all, I probably should say. So the question then becomes, when one has such a craving for more Doom, what should one do now that there's been quite a drought of Doom content? What should one do? Well, simple. Create your own Doom content. You see, even if there weren't any new Doom games, Doom's fan modding community was, and still is, strong to this day. And that's not all. There's Doom fan art, Doom fan games like Doom Roguelike, and that Doom Roguelike would eventually evolve and mutate and become its own game on Steam. And, of course, a few Doom fanfics. Now, on a bit of an unrelated note, I remember back in the early days of the internet, in the 2000s, when people were waiting for the next Harry Potter books and movies. And some people were so sick and tired of waiting, so some people took matters into their own hands and they wrote their own Harry Potter fanfics. And it wasn't just Harry Potter, some people also wrote Sonic fanfics, Zelda fanfics, Pokemon fanfics, Kingdom Hearts fanfics, and etc, etc, etc. But as a matter of fact, Doom fanfics aren't that plentiful, not even as close as Harry Potter. I'm looking at the fanfic site right now and it's over 700 entries. That's it. Now, before you had internet fanfic sites, Doom has had a book trilogy published in the 1990s, and they are not good. Not good according to most people. And most people would even dare to say that the Doom trilogy of books feels like something that would fit right in as internet fanfic and not for a mainstream publishing. But aside from the actual books, on this fanfic site, I'm looking at it right now, and one Doom fanfic should actually be on the site right now, but isn't. And that Doom fanfic is called Doom, Repercussions of Evil, written by Peter Chimera, aka Hyena, and it was published on fanfiction.net on June 25th, 2002. Throughout the 2000s to the mid-2010s, Mr. Chimera, if I may call him that, has written a handful of fanfics, so I will mention the more prominent ones. Digimon Saves the World 1111, the aforementioned Doom, Repercussions of Evil, Gundam Wing Final Battle, Batman Nemesis Fight, which I am certain could be based on Batman the Animated Series, The Matrix Returns. No, we already had a Matrix Return, and I actually don't want to watch that Matrix movie. Castlevania Wisp of Dracula, Devil May Cry, The Crying of the Demon, Quarter Life, Halfway to Destruction, I have to kill fast but bullets too slow, and then John Freeman started killing combines with beer hands. Resident Deadly. The title of this fanfics, man. I am very certain, more than 50%, that Mr. Chimera is of my generation, a millennial. So by now, he is maybe between the age of 34 or 39 years old, or something like that. Heck, he probably could be in his early 40s. But anyways, today I will only hone in on the main subject of this podvid, Doom, Repercussions of Evil. Now, I am not sure what the author of the Doom fanfic was thinking back then, so this is how I imagine how it all went down. And if Mr. Chimera wants to chime in the comment section below, or on X, then I'd be more than happy to rectify this false lore. So back then, it's the year 2002, Mr. Chimera has been waiting a long time for the next Doom game, and he wants something, a rumor, a gossip, a comic book. No, never mind, no comic books. And I don't think he even wants to read the Doom books from the 90s. No, I don't think so. Mr. Chimera and mostly everybody else wants to play a fully fleshed Doom game, but man, the wait is so long and uncertain. If another Doom game will happen, if it happens. And buying the nearly identical re-released Doom 1 and 2 repackaged over and over again feels like a waste of time and money, since the world has moved on from the pseudo 3D that was Doom 1 and 2. So why not invent your own Doom content? But I can't code, Mr. Chimera thought to himself as he lay in his dad's hammock in Quebec reading a book. I can't program. He thought to himself. Aha! He rose from his hammock. I got it! Why don't I write my own Doom story? He went to the internet to see if his story's been done by someone else. Fanfiction.net. He noticed on the Google search results. What is that? What is a fanfic? Ah well, he said as he created his account. I think I'll just start writing and... Oh no! He suddenly realized. Most of these stories are in English. I don't speak much English. Like, at all. What should I do? Oh well, I just write as much as I know in English. I'm sure people will understand what I'm trying to say anyways. After all, it is what one trying to say what is mostly important, and I'm pretty sure most people feel the same way. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not exactly what Mr. Chimera was thinking when he wrote Doom Repercussions of Evil. No, it's just my imagination of what I think happened. And spoilers, people did notice and care about the grammar and spelling, and his stories were mocked immensely online for it. And then what happened? You know, after he published his fanfiction? Well, You're the Man Now Dog did dramatic readings of Mr. Chimera's stories, and people from Newgrounds did fan animations of his stories, like the aforementioned Doom Repercussions of Evil. And then people re-uploaded the You're the Man Now Dog readings and the Newgrounds Flash movies on YouTube. Which, spoilers by the way, you're not really allowed to do, but back then people didn't see any issue with that and did it anyways. And then fanfiction.net did something I consider to be a regrettable action, in my opinion. Whether they did this in the same year or years later, I am not so sure, but the admins deleted Mr. Chimera's entry because according to the Doom Wiki, it was removed for its intentionally poor grammar, spelling and style. What? Yeah, it was poor grammar and bad spelling, but so what? In my opinion, the mods shouldn't have deleted it. They shouldn't, because that fanfic drew people to their site, like flies. And you know what they say, any kind of press is good press, for the lack of a better term, unfortunately. However, that didn't stop Mr. Chimera from publishing his Doom fanfic and many of his other works on his own website, which is still up to this very day. And then what happened? In 2004, it finally happened. Doom 3 was at long last released, and it didn't make the numbers like its two previous entries from the 1990s. Doom 3 wasn't a bad game. It sold well. It received good buzz from the reviewers and the press, but it didn't bring anything new to the table as Wolfenstein, Doom 1 and Quake 1 did. And then, in 2005, then what happened? Id Software released an expansion pack called Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. No, you didn't hear that wrong. The fanfic is called Doom Repercussions of Evil, while the Doom 3 expansion pack is called Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. This must either be an awesome coincidence, or somebody at id Software may have read or watched the Doom fanfic in question. Either way, I think it is an awesome, it's an awesome it just so happened or a coincidence. Even to this day, you have people talking about doing parodies, doing dramatic readings of Peter Chimera's Doom, Repercussions of Evil, to this very day. Like in RB and the Chief, or rather, the RB and the Chief movie. I'm talking about this Doom fanfic, this post. As a matter of fact, for my closing segment of today's podvid, I am going to do a let's read of Doom, Repercussions of Evil. Take care, goodbye, and I hope you all are going to have a happy Halloween tomorrow. Bye everybody. Doom, Repercussions of Evil. Jan Stalvern waited. The lights above him blinked and sparked out of the air. There were demons in the base. He didn't see them, but he had expected them now for years. His warning to Colonel Josen were not listened to, and now it was too late. Far too late for now anyway. Jan was a space marine for 14 years. When he was young, he watched the spaceships and he said to Dad, "I want to be on the ships, Daddy." Dad said, "No! You will be killed by demons!" There was a time when he believed him. Then as he got older, he stopped. But now in the space station base of the UAC, he knew they were demons. "This is Josen," the radio crackered. "You must fight the demons!" So Jan gathered his pulsar rifle and blew up the wall. "He's going to kill us," said the demon. "I will shoot at him," said the cyber demon, and he fired the rocket missiles. Jan plasmid at him and tried to blow him up. But then the ceiling fell and they were trapped and not able to kill. "No! I must kill the demons!" The radio said, "No, Jan, you are the demons." And then Jan was a zombie. His warning to Colonel... Cernal? Nah, I'm saying Colonel. Metal Gear Solid. Colonel Josen. So Jan gathered his pulsar rifle and blew up the wall. Jan plasmid at him to try. Jan plasmid at him and tried to blow. Jan plasmid at him and tried to blow him up. He shouted. "Now I must kill the demons," he shouted. "No," the radio said. "No, Jan, you are." The radio said,